There we go. Hello! Ahoy! And welcome to DobbsQuest Season 1, Episode 19. I already turned off the soundboard. And there goes $20 as well. Thank you, Zombie Slicer and Burger.
$20.
Shiner. You could get 2,000 level ideas. Perfect. You know what else you could do is 500 soundboard uses. You could just do space for an entire stream, just over and over.
That's a dream.
Please don't.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to DobbsQuest Season 1, Episode 19, the tabletop role-playing game with me, Dobbs, as your host. Our three players tonight, as usual, we have GameCube playing the part of Blaine, the sneaky thief.
Oh, ahoy.
We have Lurking Turtle Gamer playing the part of Torgan, stalwart warrior.
It's been 2 weeks since our last gameplay. That's almost a year.
And, of course, we have Daysnick playing the Elven Bard Serene.
Hello.
Straight to the point there. As you may, as the people that are not playing may know from the ambient sounds that they can hear, which you three cannot hear, we are on a seafaring adventure. Out at sea, the party is currently heading towards the Shroud, a mysterious collection of islands across the sea in a perpetual and mysterious thick fog. Getting there is no easy task, so they have enlisted the help of a competent sea captain who is helping them reach their destination. But it will not be without troubles. Already, there's been a little bit of mystery aboard. Let's just send us the YouTube link. Well, I've got music running, and I also have a sound mixer running with ambient sounds. So I'm just throwing everything in. So let's switch scenes here to our game board here. For those that are new to DobbsQuest, in the Ironsworn game, you have 5 base stats that you see there at the top left, and then 3 main tracks: Health, Spirit, and Supply. 5 is good, 0 is very bad. So right now, the entire team is in very good condition overall. But things are about to get mixed up a little bit today. Right off the bat, I need for Torgan and Serene to make a roll of wits.
Well, that's not good for me.
Do any of my bonuses apply?
Let me double check your assets, but I believe no. No.
Okay.
This is not good.
All right, let's see what the dice have in store for us. Well, right off the bat, we do have a strong hit.
Whatever Blaine did, I noticed.
Funny you should mention.
Oh, there's me. There we go.
All right. So let's start right off the bat. All right. So, GameCube, you already know that something happened during the night.
Yes.
All right. Serene, late during the evening, stirring in your sleep, tired and somewhat dazed, you glance over in the midst of the night with just the slightest bit of light trickling around through the door cracks and the boards above. And with your elven eyes, you can just take a moment to look around and notice that Klain is not in the room with you. Torgan is still snoring soundly.
Like I got poisoned again.
No.
I gave you some Benadryl. Now deal. You felt better after. Jeez. You haven't puked since.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. I'll be fine.
Bobby, fine. Yes, but the thing we have detected now is, Serene, you have kind of, in a very sleepy state, you notice that Ghislaine is not here in the room with you and Torgan.
Peculiar. Suspicions rising. Maybe.
I'm sure it's fine.
She, can she reach where Ghislaine usually sleeps from where she is? Like, if she were to reach out and, like, try to grab the pillow or something?
Let's say sure.
She grabs Glaine's pillow and chunks it at Torgan.
Okay. Torgan, you awake with a start, snore interrupted, as a sudden but rather fluffy interruption to your sleep strikes you in the head.
Bunnies. What?
Take 3 damage.
What's going on? Take 3 damage, jerk. It was a strong hit with a pillow.
I keep my knives in there.
And dead.
Hey, Torgan.
Why?
Glaine's missing.
Good. Let me sleep.
You know how he's been super sketchy lately? And is not here suspiciously? In the middle of the night?
He's always super sketchy. Why are you waking me up for this? I'm finally getting some rest.
He sits up and kind of rubs her eyes a little bit, and she's like, well, apparently the guy we left on watch isn't on watch, so I guess I'm at least getting up.
I'm up anyway. Let's go see what we can see. And I get out of bed.
All right.
But sleepily.
Yeah, so the two of you are up. Presumably you don't sleep in your armor, Torgan. But,
I should probably put something on. I put something on. Lightly armored, but not...
Okay, so you will kind of go ahead and take the time to don your armor and grab your gear, just in case.
You know, we have to get dressed.
We always be prepared. We're like Boy Scouts.
Yeah. Okay, so you take a moment to go ahead and get your normal traveling gear donned and your weapons. And
She's
with
going
that,
to leave her loot.
okay.
She's going to leave her loot stashed down here, but she's going to make sure she has her cloak on and is otherwise kind of ready to make some quick moves if necessary.
Right. Right, so getting out of the cabin.
I'm gonna look around first and see if there's anything amiss. Just do a quick search of the room to make sure there aren't any obvious, I don't know, he taped a note to his pillow or something that I threw at Torgan, or make sure there's nothing that would explain anything.
Doesn't look like it. No trace of what exactly happened to Ghislaine overnight.
Is the door still barred from when we went to bed?
No, it is not. Looks like it has been carefully and quietly removed.
So he probably left of his own will. He snuck out on us. Interesting. Serene kind of points this out to Torgen. And kind of waits to get his opinion on the matter.
Torgen, opinions?
At this point, Serena's in the lead. I'm just following.
Fair. All right, Serene. Torgen defers. What are you gonna do?
She's going to open the door slowly, with her kind of on the inside of the room and kind of behind the door.
Mm-hmm.
And since Torgen put his armor on. And just kind of... Let's see if maybe he's just standing in the hallway.
Oh, totally. All right, you open the door, and then you kind of peer about a little bit. You do not see Glenn out in the hall, but you do hear, once you open the door, just the kind of a distant sound of some kind of conversation happening above deck.
Not too unusual on a ship that it's gonna have an overnight crew. But we're up. So let's, we don't want to draw any suspicion to ourselves, but, let's kind of make a move in the general direction of the mess hall. And kind of grab a snack on the way up to top deck. Is kind of a, we just happened to wake up early.
Right.
Grab breakfast. Sort of casual meander.
Okay, now it is still kind of very late, or I guess early in the morning. It's still very dark out on the sea. So most of the day crew is down, but there is a sort of skeleton crew that works the nights. The mess hall is empty right now. As you sort of are passing by towards the mess hall, where it kind of goes by the very steep kind of stairs, kind of ladder that heads up towards the...
No more Camp Horizon feels bad, man.
Towards the deck, the main deck, you can hear that Glenn is one of the voices talking. The other voices you can't quite place.
Serene, upon hearing this, is going to kind of lean against the wall next to the ladder and just kind of open your ears a little bit and
okay.
Just kind of motion for Torgen to do the same.
All right, so Torgen and Serene are going to just kind of eavesdrop a bit here. I don't think we need a roll for that then. You're well out of sight. I don't think we need to do any stealth shadow rolls. Okay, so you guys are kind of listening, but staying unseen down below deck as you kind of listen in on the conversation above. So up on deck, Glenn is having a conversation, which after a while you do place at least one of the voices as the sort of new recruit that was working in the kitchen in the mess hall the other day. The conversation sounds a little bit tense, though no outright threats are being made just yet. But you listen in on a bit of the conversation. Glenn, it really comes down to you've got to make a choice, and there's really no way around it.
My choice has been made, but I'm on my own timetable. I don't need you guys pushing me.
Oh, it's not.
Constantly hovering around.
It's not really us pushing you anymore, Glenn. We've got our orders from the Eagle, and what he says goes.
He's got better things to do than worry about this. I'm taking care of things.
Well, apparently not. You're on a ship heading straight for the Shroud. Sounds like this is about as far from success as you could count it. Glane, be reasonable now. If you were doing anything to try and prevent this, they wouldn't even be on this side of the continent. They wouldn't be alive, Glane.
There are things going on that are beyond what you're worrying about. The reason we're going here is far from what we have to be concerned with.
Glane, it pains me. It really does. I know we never really got to work together much, but I figure we would have gotten along. Shame, really.
I start to pull out my knife, just slightly.
Visibly, or
like my hand on the handle, but like I'm just like I'm steadying myself because I'm on a boat.
Right,
but,
you don't want them to know that you're doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if it's any consolation, Glane, I'm sure you'll be able to see Gary sooner than you thought.
I instantly lunge at that guy's neck with my knife.
All right.
And do I have any line of sight from below deck at this point?
No, you are completely hidden. Completely out of sight. Glane needs to roll to enter the fray. And this is facing off, striking without warning. So roll Shadow. And let's see here. Do you get to have any bonuses for entering the fray? You do not.
So just 3.
Yes.
Well, he rolls. Serene's gonna catching on to what's happening. Uh-oh. She's gonna motion to Torgan. She's gonna pull out her bow and motion to Torgan to give her an alley-oop straight up, so that she doesn't have to take time on the ladder.
Right. Alright, so let's see here. First off, let's deal with these foes. There are 2 of them. They are dangerous. So, first off, Glane's roll did not go well. On a miss, combat begins with you at a disadvantage, and you must pay the price.
When you don't have any momentum.
And Glane does not have any momentum either.
Well, would it be enough to make it a weak hit?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. What is his momentum at?
4.
4. No, it would not.
Damn.
So, that's a no-go.
It's just a straight miss.
Yes, straight up miss. So, no luck for our hero Glane. Alright, so Glane has been kind of slowly making his way towards grabbing his dagger. But the words spoken by this acquaintance of his cut deep to his heart. Glane lunges forth with his dagger, but it looks like the other 2 were already kind of prepared for the attack, and sort of land a sort of a kick straight to the chest, while Glane is just blinded by rage. Glane, to pay the price, you're actually going to need to endure stress. Which is, you're going to need to roll Iron Roll. Iron Roll 2. Okay, weak hit. No changes in stats. You press on. You're sort of filled with rage, but you are prepared to just fight through it.
Adrenaline is a heck of a drug.
It is. So Glane comes out swinging, but he's just pushed back immediately, and sort of sent reeling, losing his balance on the deck of the ship. I think at this point the one of the men starts making his way towards Glane with a knife of his own, gleaming in the moonlight. Just the bit of sea spray forming beads on the blade as he prepares to bring it down towards Glane. Glane is going to need to roll a clash move here, which is going to be close quarters. This is an iron roll, which is 1. Not great.
Well,
Yeah, we'll pull you in.
Morgan are trying to.
Yeah, we'll pull you in. I need at least a little bit of Glane kind of dealing with the consequences of his failure here. So you all right, Glane manages to fight back here. Foe still has initiative. So let's see here. This is 2 harm, which is decent. That's 4 progress bars total. All right, so from below deck, what you guys are basically hearing is the conversation cuts off immediately with Glane just crying out in rage, and then you immediately are ready to get up there and see what's going on. Now, Serene, you had some kind of plan that you wanted to put into motion here.
Serene immediately draws her bow and puts her hand on her hip and counts back to the 3rd section of her quiver and pulls a poisoned arrow. She motions for Torgan to give her a boost up, to kind of an alley-oop to get her up on the top deck. Her goal is element of surprise and to appear and land a shot before her presence is known.
Okay. I like it. I need for Torgan to roll to secure an advantage here. This is with, let's see here. Give me an iron roll 2.
Just switch to mobiles. Wait, so I roll permanent.
I got it.
Let's see what happens here. All right, this is on Torgan's behalf here. A weak hit. So no real benefit, but it still does work. But it's a sort of a brief advantage here. So, Serene is going to need to roll. Ooh, let's see here. Or Shadow. I'm gonna say Shadow in this case. Iron roll 2 to enter the fray, and we'll see the initial position to see, like, are you getting the drop on these guys or not? No, unless you want to burn momentum for it. What do you think?
That's a hard decision.
Yeah, this could turn it to a strong hit.
It could. Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, we are burning momentum. Also, just to make sure we get this figured out now, does Serene have on her mask?
She did bring it with her. So as soon as she lands, she's going to put it on. But she didn't have time to put it on before having
Gotcha.
Torgan throw her.
The conversation kind of abruptly landed into combat. You weren't prepared for it, but that's all right. You've got it with you, but not on for this shot. All right, so Torgan basically just grabs his shield, his almost weapon of choice in a sense. He's the warrior of defense here. He just grabs his shield and basically just hefts you up with it. And basically you are surfing on this platform as he just rushes you to the deck level. just calling on all the strength he's got for that. And you sort of fly into the air, perhaps, get a little bit of height here. And you are going to take a strong hit on Enter the Fray. So that is 2 momentum and initiative.
All right, that puts me back at 4 already.
Yes, a good start there. And now you must strike. You have the initiative, and you are attacking at range, so you are going to roll edge with some caveats here. Let's see here. So, what applies here? You are not wearing your mask. You do not have time to aim. You are kind of striking from the hip here.
Yeah, this is a pure instinct roll.
Yep, so no extra bonuses. It'll just be an iron roll 2. Just edge. Okay, that is still a weak hit. You do lose initiative. But here's the big thing. That was a poison arrow that you let fly. Which means when you strike a foe with a poisoned arrow, you inflict an additional 2 harm at the expense of 1 arrow. So that brings you down to 3 poison arrows remaining. So you are inflicting a total of 4 harm on which of the characters here. So you have just a brief moment to examine the battlefield.
Yeah, Glane is on the ground. I'm shooting at the guy going for Glane.
All right, perfect. You see him in there. You strike him with an arrow. He cries out as it strikes him in his left shoulder, piercing him. You see just blood beginning to form around the wound there in his clothes and armor. But without a strong hit, you can't take him out of the fight completely. So he's actually still up. He's struck, he's hurt, but he is still in the battle.
Hopefully I've managed to sway his attention.
Yes.
Are we supposed to be able to see their damage tracks right now?
Your scene is not updating.
Oh, it is not. All right, just a moment. I'll get that to update. There we go. That ought to do it. I got to remind OBS to look at that file. All right, so let's see.
My momentum is at 4.
Your momentum is back down to 4. Yes, did that come through? No, it did not. Okay.
It did not.
I'll have to interact with that one too. Now, what is Torgan going to do here?
I'm going to make my way up the ladder.
All right, so you're working your way up there.
Yes.
Okay. So I think that means it's going to be a little bit before Torgan enters the fight. Serene, are you landing back up on the deck?
Yes, I'm gonna do a tumble and land on the deck.
Okay. The sea spray has left the deck a little bit more slick than you were expecting. Your landing is not perfect, but you at least stay on your feet. However, you've kind of lost your balance a bit, and these 2 guys who have been threatening Glane with blades are now well aware of your position, and also they have kind of adjusted to the current light, the current slickness of the deck, so they're very much in control of the situation right now. But they see you. I think the one that just got shot kind of points at you and shouts over to his other, "You take care of her."
He's gonna slip on her mask.
Okay.
While she's getting her balance. And she's also going to let out the loudest, most shrill whistle that she possibly elvenly can, because that's typically how you signal alarm on a deck of a ship.
All right, you're going to be trying to just get some attention here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. All right, so Serene is just kind of basically crying out for help here, while these 2 fellas are sort of slowly moving in for another attack. Glane, you're on the ground right now. What do you do? The guy that was about to just stab you right through the chest has been struck with an arrow. He's momentarily distracted, but he's still got his eyes on you.
This is the one that was told, like, the other one has Serene, this one's on me.
Yes.
Okay. Am I able to see Torgen, or am I, assuming or aware that he's coming up the stairs?
The fact that you have seen an arrow, even though you haven't turned around to see, immediately you're thinking Serene is here. Torgen is probably somewhere, but you don't see him anywhere.
Okay. I would like to try to secure an advantage for Torgen.
Okay.
By bluffing.
Oh, what do you got in mind?
Interesting choice.
So I'm kind of on the ground from that hit that I took to the chest.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to kind of scramble up and make it like I'm more hurt than I am the way that I move.
Right.
And because the other one's assignment is to get me. So I'm going to shamble down the stairs like I'm trying to get away. And
okay, you're trying to lead him into Torgen.
Yeah.
So that Torgen can get the drop on him.
Make him think that he's chasing something that's wounded, that's trying to get away. So that he's just going to be beeline to me without being ready for that.
All right. Yeah, we'll try that. Let's see here.
I just funny kicked him on in the chest while I was on the ground.
So that'll be Iron Roll 4. A strong hit. Okay, and
As
that
I
means...
pass Torgen on the stairs, I tap him on the shoulder and say, "You're up."
So here's the question. Well, actually, no. If you're doing this on Torgen's behalf, that means he has the choice of what to take. He can't take the momentum because he's already full. So instead, Torgen's next move will be at a +1 bonus. All right, so Glane really hams it up and is scrambling for the hatch down. He sort of slips a bit on his way in, but seeing Torgen on the way, he sighs a sigh of relief, knowing that his hunch was right about Torgen's current position. Kind of gives him a quick little quip to indicate what's coming. And Torgen, what are you gonna do now? Are you ready to charge out of there?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to start with Enter the Fray for Torgen, who still has not really entered combat yet. Let's see here. All right, so you're going to be rolling with Heart and an additional +1 for the advantage that Glane got you. And I think you might get an extra bonus here for Blade Bound.
Aid.
What's that?
And he has the aid and ally thing, which this definitely would count for that.
That's if he wants to make an aid your ally move, which this is not. This is an Enter the Fray move. So for Enter the Fray, he does get a +1 for his sort of spirit blade that he has. So you're going to be making a +5 roll for Enter the Fray.
Miss.
Get him, Torgen, get him.
What could go wrong?
Please don't
You
miss.
have a 10 momentum. You have a 10 momentum. You
Please
got
don't
this.
miss. Please don't miss.
So somebody's got to roll for me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Day will be the designated
Iron-
turtle roll.
Iron roll 5.
Wow, by
Wrong
1 point. By 1 point. So special
Doesn't
thanks
matter,
to
it
Glane. That means that you do have initiative and may immediately take an attack with a strike if you'd like. So Torgen, you basically just stroll right up the stairs, hold your blade up, and you are ready to engage the enemy. They're taken by surprise, so you've got an advantage against whoever you attack.
Presumably the dude in your face.
Yeah, presumably the
Yeah, I
dude in
should
your
attack
face.
the one closer.
All right, so you have initiative, and you are attacking in close quarters, so this will be an iron roll, which is going to be iron roll 2. And let me make sure there's no extra benefits for you. It doesn't look like it. No. So this is iron roll 2 to actually deal some damage here. But you're in an advantageous position. Oh. Uh-oh.
Okay, Torgan, use your momentum.
This might be the time.
Just say, I use my momentum.
I used my momentum.
All right.
There we go.
That was so good.
That was good.
Magic! Now it's a 10.
That was good. I use my momentum.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I'm still on mobile. I've had a situation.
No, it was good.
I'm good.
It's okay. It's okay. You had a 3 against a matching pair of 7s. But it's okay now, because now that's a 10.
Against the, yeah, much better. Okay, so we cancel out the challenge dice. They don't exist anymore. You just have a straight up 10. Everything's hunky dory. Your momentum is back down to 2, but it was a strong hit, which means on a strong hit, inflict +1 harm and retain initiative for a grand total of 3 harm on this fellow that's been making his way towards the hatch. So Torgan just casually strolls up the stairs, holds up his sword and shield, and just makes a wild slash towards this guy. He slides back to try and get out of the way, still gets a nasty gash on his arm, and he is now very much on the defensive. He sort of grabs his arm in pain. Oh, you! And he's got not a great blade for this kind of fight, just a knife. Actually,
Punch him with your shield. Punch him with your shield.
I think what he might do in this situation is, I think he's just gonna wildly just sling the knife at you. He really wants to like hold this wound, but he's got a knife in one hand. He's just gonna throw it at Torgan, and go back to holding his wound for a bit. Torgan, you need to face danger.
Just for placeholding, once I pass Torgan and I hear the outcome of what happened, I basically turn around to rejoin the fight.
Yeah, you're scrambling back up.
Yeah. So I pull out my crossbow and I start walking back up the stairs.
All right, Torgan, with your shield bearer ability, you get an additional +1 on facing danger. So you're going to be facing danger with, let's see here, forceful defense. So this is going to be an iron maneuver, which means you're going to be getting a total of an iron roll 2. Dave, roll that for, there we go. Okay, a weak hit, succeed, but at a cost. Let's see here. I think, let's see. So your actual action is you're trying to block this attack. I think that's going to be a momentum loss right there. That's all that's going to be. Torgan quickly raises his shield, blocking the knife. Sticks in the wood of his shield. And let's see here. I think with that, the other guy's gripping his wound. He's injured, but he's not out of the fight, and he's kind of adrenaline is pumping. He's ready to just attack. Torgan is taking a minute to try and shake it off, and while that's happening, he's a little bit distracted. Meanwhile, I think the let's see here.
I think enemy number 1 is still advancing on Serene.
I think Serene is back up now. It is this other fellow is moving towards Serene, who has kind of lost her balance a bit on the deck. She's still kind of trying to right herself. She's on her feet, but she's not got great footing. And this other guy does still have his knife ready, and he sees, you know, this one here is just armed with a bow. I might have a bit of an advantage here. He's gonna walk up and just try and slash at Serene.
Yep.
Not that one.
I also raised the alarm though.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yes.
So that should be
far-
taking effect about now.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
So this guy is advancing on you. What's your move here? What are you working on? What's Serene gonna do in this situation?
She's going to grab an arrow, but instead of knocking it, she's just going to get ready to like shank the guy straight in the gut.
Oh, ho, ho, all right. In that case, that's going to be a roll of iron. Not Serene's strong suit, but it does fit the situation very nicely.
Could
So
try
this is-
for point blank shot, but I don't have the space for it.
Yeah. Now let me make sure on the... Okay, so this will be iron roll 1. I had to make sure that the rolling a natural 1 only applied... Oh, wait!
Actually, I have enough momentum.
You
for
have
that.
enough momentum for that! How?
It is now a strong hit, and he's gonna die.
It is, in fact, now a strong hit somehow with 4 momentum. So, inflict your harm and choose 1. So, we don't need the extra harm because he's already at max. Momentum boosted up to 3. And now we can try to end the fight. Well, at least for this one foe. All
Maybe
right.
I'm actually stabbing him in the throat and just slitting his throat with an arrow, because that'd be kind of hilarious.
Well, let's find out. It depends on the outcome of this roll, which, as we all know, there's always a chance of something bad happening.
Dobbs.
I just want to point that out. Oh, actually, yeah.
Dobbs.
I mean, it wasn't a miss. Oh, let's see. What happens here? Injury, harm, you outcome, short-lived, collateral damage. Okay. Put a pin in that. Let's go over to the other guy. Let's cliffhanger that slightly while we see what's happening with this other guy over here. So meanwhile, Ghislaine and Torgon are dealing with this other guy. Ghislaine, you have popped back up out of the hatch, crossbow in hand, bolt loaded. But you do not have initiative. So if you're going to make an attack, it will count as a clash. Which just, the only difference between that and a strike is the penalty for failing.
Yeah, I've got to take a shot at this guy, because now he's focused on Torgon, because that's clearly the thing that just attacked him, so...
Yeah.
Eyes off me, so now I'm going to take my shot at him.
All right. So, this is an advancing foe. So you're going to be rolling edge. That's a 2. I rolled 2. That's not bad. All right. Oh, the strong hit. That's it. That's what we needed. And because you don't need the extra harm, because that's going to be enough to max him out, you will instead take the extra momentum as your benefit. And now you've got an opportunity to end the fight here. So, let's see if this is enough. Iron Progress 10. Strong hit. This foe is no longer in the fight. All right.
I get one of my tooth daggers and I jam it right in his neck.
Oh. That's unfortunate.
Nice.
And
I stare him in the
Serene,
eyes. He goes away.
this first guy that's heading for Serene is like slashing the air. Like, I've got a knife. You don't. What are you gonna do about it? Serene, you do suffer collateral damage in this. He's slashing. He's basically just slinging this blade wildly. You are sort of
Block
trying
as much
to.
as I can with my bow, but I'm gonna get cut
No,
while I stab him in the neck.
you are not gonna get cut. He gets the bowstring.
Oh well, I got more of those in my
You've got
bag
more.
downstairs.
You've got more, but it is gonna eat into your supply. The team supply is gonna
Annoying.
drop a little bit. But you grab, upon seeing this your bow slice, you grab an arrow and just stab it straight into him. Manual application of the arrow.
A very strong heck you.
Yeah.
And I might clobber him with the bow a couple times just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Good measure.
And then
Hammer it in there.
And then all is quiet on the sea, aside from
And
the
looting the
gentle
first
rocking and creaking of the ship.
I'm looting the bodies for anything I suspect these guys may have.
All right. Let's see. So we're looking for something on these two guys.
As soon as Serene is sure he's dead, she's going to slide with the motion of the boat back towards the hatch.
Mm-hmm.
And because she has her mask on, and she doesn't want to be seen with that necessarily if it
Good
can
call.
be avoided. So she's going to make a slide for the hatch.
Sounds
And
good.
use the dampness of the deck to her advantage.
Yeah.
She grew up in a port town. She knows how this works.
Yeah. Let's see here. Glane, does Glane find anything of note here? That is the question. You find a lot of the things you would expect to find, Glane. A lot of the things that you yourself would carry. There are knives and other implements in all the usual hiding places. Is there anything surprising? Unlikely. But we'll roll for it. 80 or above, or 81 and above will be a yes, there's something unexpected. No. You find basically the kind of things that you yourself would be carrying.
Okay. I don't see
The
anything
usual sort of implements, blades, hidden blades, poisons.
You maybe take a few presents for Serene, since she saved your ass.
I grab up some of the
Or-
consumables, but I don't take any of the hard weapons because stuff I already have.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Plus, I have a resupply bonus for my thingy.
That's true. If you want to apply
Better.
that right now.
Since her bow broke and is cutting into our supply, why not?
All right. We'll see if you can find something there. So you'll be taking an additional +1 on this roll of resupply. So instead of a 2, you'll get an iron roll 3. Oh no.
Oh no.
No. You do not find anything of use.
Really glad that was just a resupply roll.
Yeah, what's the
Well,
worst
last time
that
I
can happen?
tried to resupply, I got poisoned by a dead spider.
That's true. At least there's no worry about that with this. All right.
I start to look around to see if anyone actually is coming because we've just killed 2 crewmates on this boat.
No.
I turn to Torgan and Serene.
Three
might
gone.
want to get. Oh, you're gone. I turned to Torgan. We might want to get these two guys overboard before anybody catches wind of what just happened here.
What did you do to them to make them attack you?
We'll talk about that, but right now we've got two corpses that need putting away. I say as I'm grabbing one of them and pulling him over to the side of the boat.
Okay, well, we'll talk later.
All right, so the two of you dispose of the bodies. Excellent.
Serene is has retrieved a bow. Has put away her mask. Has retrieved one of the loot/bowstrings from her supplies, and is waiting patiently in the mess hall, restringing her bow because it takes a little bit better light, and there's light in there.
Okay. Are you worried at all about leaving Glaine and Torgan alone?
No,
Okay.
actually. Torgan's a big boy. He can take care of himself.
Okay. Well, the deed is done, and Torgan and Glaine are now alone on the deck.
As Torgan throws his body, I've already thrown my body over. As Torgan gets close to the edge and throws his over, I kind of grab him quickly by the shoulder and
Go
say
on.
thanks.
Okay. Okay. Had me worried. Oh, yeah. Torgan, you have not been thrown overboard.
Wouldn't expect to be.
Of course not.
You sound sad about that.
Yeah.
You just saved him.
Yeah. Are you gonna rejoin Serene down below?
Yeah, we head back down to the quarters.
Okay. As you're heading down the ladder, you find that she's over in the mess hall. A small lamp is lit, giving her enough light to work on getting her bow restrung. Serene, you see the two of them coming down the stairs.
She just kind of looks at them expectantly and makes a motion for them to join her at the table.
It's gonna be a bit of a talking to. Glaine,
Have a
Torgan.
seat.
Okay. They sit down alongside you.
So as she's testing the pull on her bowstring, she's like, "So, I feel like you owe us an apology for hiding something, and a long explanation of what that something is."
Sorry, I'm just chewing something real briefly. Okay. Those two guys are part of an organization that is blackmailing me. As you might have been able to guess from what they said to me, they know where Gary is. And if I don't try to go along with what they say, or at least appear to, I'm afraid they might do something to him.
She just kind of looks at him and blinks a little bit, and is just like, "Okay, and about the part about why are we alive? Would you care to elaborate on that?" We were there for a while, eavesdropping.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to think that it would be easier to keep you off the trail of what they don't want by having you dead, but I'm doing everything I can to make sure Gary doesn't get killed, but also not kill anyone who doesn't deserve it, which includes you two.
Okay, keep talking.
I've been trying to appease this organization while still, doing what I can to help us along, but eventually those two paths converged in a way that wouldn't let me shake their attention. The organization has a heavy presence around the Shroud, and that was under strict orders to keep us away from there for some reason.
Interesting. So, tell me more about this eagle thing.
The Eagle is the head of at least this chapter of the organization. He's the one that's giving all the orders to try to get whatever he's trying to accomplish done, and I'm kind of this pawn in that. I got sucked into their group, and they took Gary as collateral to keep me loyal. So I wasn't exactly lying, when I said that a bird took him.
The way he was talking, it sounded like they've already murdered your cat, and he was gonna kill you and to send you to the cat. You realize that, right?
I got that, but he's also a pawn of a low-level flunky. I think that was an empty threat. The Eagle knows that as long as that cat is alive, he's got some power over me. If he told me that the cat was gone, I would be loose.
Serene is not impressed with this explanation, but she just kind of looks over at Torgen to see if Torgen has anything he wants to ask or add.
Man, I know you like that cat, but I am a human being. Are you planning on killing me over your cat?
How about, instead of throwing around wild accusations, a thank you for killing that guy 2 towns ago? Because he was an agent of the Brotherhood too, and he was about to get you until I stepped in.
A grudging thank you.
Now we're even.
So, the guy at Whitestead?
The guy that you found that note on. I tried to make the best of a situation and turned it into a threat to get us back off track, but at the end of the day, he was coming for us. But once all this elf stuff in the Shroud happened, we were on a collision course for this place. There was nothing I could do about it.
So the second note about Torgen's shield was fake, written by you, but the first one wasn't?
Correct. I was just following a lead, trying to make it all tie in together.
She just kind of puts her head and like she's rubbing her temples with her her head in her hand a little bit. She's like, and you were never going to clue us into any of this. That you're literally being hunted and that it complicates our mission.
I wasn't being hunted until we started getting close to things. As long as I was keeping us on track, away from the points of interest that the Brotherhood wanted us to stay away from, I was working towards getting my cat back and fulfilling my end of the bargain. But soon our interests, his centaur quest and your elf quest both go to this place. There's nothing that I can do to rout us away. So I've just been trying to keep them at bay and trying to delay and buy time until maybe we could lose them by getting disguises and hiding ourselves and moving undercover and trying to shake them, but he's got eyes everywhere.
Are we safe on the ship now?
I mean, those 2 guys were everyone that represents the Brotherhood on the ship. Once we get to the Shroud, like I said, they have a presence there. If they know we're coming, I can't say.
I think we need to have a conversation with the captain.
I don't think he's going to be too thrilled about us killing the guy who works in the rigging in the kitchen.
That need not necessarily be brought up.
just disappeared?
You'd be surprised how often that happens on overnights on a ship.
Anyway, I'm gonna defer to you two for now. I don't think you're gonna trust anything I say as far as our next move.
She's just kind of rubbing her temples and trying to think this through. So I guess this is a good time to do knowledge check. As the party scholar, just any of this stuff that Ghislaine is talking about, this secret organization, does any of it ring a bell for her?
No. Typical secret organization.
Yeah.
Does not advertise itself well.
Fair enough. It just depends on how big and how significant and old the organization is. So
Yeah.
whether there'd be any potential documentation.
Yeah.
The fact that they're operating in elf territory, though, is what has her curious and suspicious and racking her brain for anything that she might have ever known about anything to do with any of this.
Well, Shroud is multiple islands. Somewhere in there is where the elves are, but the exact location we're uncertain of.
How far out from the Shroud are we?
Actually, the captain said you guys would probably be arriving the next day. So it can't be far now.
Yeah.
Well,
The fact that we were almost there would make it problematic if we approach the captain with news that we expect trouble at this point. If this had happened 3 days ago, then that would have been a good time to bring up that information. Possibly. Better yet, she looks over at Ghislaine, if we had known before we left that trouble might be knocking or following, then we could have warned in advance, so that we could have possibly been better prepared for such
I kind of grab my shirt and kind of fluff it like I was hoping the disguises had thrown off the Brotherhood until we'd gotten on the boat. I think those guys showed up at the last second, once we were already kicking off the dock.
She just sighs and kind of rubs her temples some more. And she's like, okay, we've got a couple hours before breakfast. I suggest we at least go get some more rest. Looks like we're going to have an interesting next few days ahead of us. It's probably... She kind of tilts her head to the side and thinks for a second. Maybe 3 hours till dawn. If we're expecting landfall, the captain will be at the prow of the ship at dawn. So let's plan to be there too.
One more thing. Since we're being mad at not giving you a heads up of potential trouble, I don't want to alarm anybody, but some of these people in the organization so
Okay, so we want to stay in brightly lit areas, watch your shadow.
just be aware of that. Not all of them. I don't think these two guys could have done it. They had plenty of chances. Dark boat.
Yeah, they didn't... The guy was just wildly slashing. He, a decently trained assassin would not have proceeded so recklessly, even against an archer.
If we fight amongst many of the higher up ranks, that might happen. So that's all.
She just kind of puts her hand under her cloak and she's rubbing her fingers along the mask and kind of drumming her fingers on it. Because right now it's the strongest magical item in her presence and it kind of helps her focus.
Right.
She's trying to think what the best course of action is. And she kind of arrives at the idea that breakfast and then meeting the captain at the top deck at dawn is probably still going to be our best route forward. Do the boys agree with this?
Yes.
Yes.
Alright. Let's go get it 2 hours of sleep if we can. Oh, Glane, by the way, your pillow's on the floor.
I'm gonna allow.
Oh, we lost him.
Serene, as the wittiest of the group, I'm gonna allow you to roll an Iron Roll 3, a very mysterious one.
While she does that, my track is up. My progress track has changed.
Okay.
Ooh.
That
yeah.
seems unfortunate.
Yeah, your actual vow has been revealed. That you have secretly been making progress on the entire campaign. Finally.
It all
we
finally
made it
makes
work.
sense.
We finally made it work.
Finally made it make sense.
Carried off by a...
Carried off by a bird. Give me that to work with, and I have to turn it into an
That
actual
counts
adventure.
as a bird.
Yes.
Wonderful.
All right. So the three of you head for the cabin to try and get some shut-eye. The rays of sunlight begin to find their way through to the cabin. Not much longer after that, after your sleep was interrupted. And you awake to find the ship rather quiet.
This close to landfall, the ship should absolutely not be anything resembling quiet. There is a problem.
It's probably fine.
Is it daylight now?
It is daylight.
I head down into the food room. I forget the boat word for it, but where all the food is, to see if anyone's preparing food, if anyone's even there eating.
No. It looks empty. There's still a plate out of extra rations of bread out from the previous night.
They yelled to Torgan to check the captain's quarters.
I go and look, and he's nowhere to be found.
He might be.
I don't know if that's for you to say.
Oh, he's not in his room.
There's an alien in the room.
He's
He
not.
wouldn't be in his room this time of day anyway. Like, that's not where you would expect him to be.
Wait, I'm kind of interested in where this is going. Where is he? What do you mean he's not in his room?
He's
Well, I mean, I get where you're
Captain.
coming from, Day. I'm interested in where Turtle's coming from.
He's not in his room.
I mean, I can roll with this. I can roll with that if that's what you want.
Oh, he's in his room. Look. I just
I
didn't
walk up
see
to the
him.
mollusk and I kill him.
He was in
Do
the
that now?
he was in the corner.
Just walk up to the... Morgan walks up to the door and knocks and waits for a response.
He's not there. Okay, yeah, let's go with that. Torgan walks up, knocks on the door. There's no response. He's not in his room.
Listen, I just got back from mobile. Okay,
You're good. You're good. Yeah, there's an adjustment.
I'm gonna go check his room.
Okay. You check his room, and you see that he is there in bed.
Yes, he is. Now
Is he
I see
alive?
it. Right there he is. I give him a shake.
All right, well,
'Cause
is the captain alive? Place your bets.
This should not be a question. We're asking.
We're going to let the dice decide.
How long has this boat just been rocking?
Great question. How good are you at navigation? 51 or above, the captain is alive. 50 or below, the captain is dead.
Bob, what are you doing to us?
Oh God.
13.
No, less
Unlucky
50.
for some.
The good news is we don't have to find his treasure.
You already rolled a 13 the last time.
I know. Hang on. Let me
Two
get all the
13s in a row. That's not okay.
Let me get the 13s out. Oh, there we go. All right, we're good now.
Hey, there we go. That's better. He's alive now.
Wait a sec.
Wait, he was just breathing really shallow. He's got sleep apnea. He's okay. He's all right. No.
It looks like
Captain.
your two friends from last night were kind of preparing to make sure that there were no interruptions.
Oh, he was planning this. That's why nobody came when alarm was called.
We just went back to bed.
And we're on a ship of dead people. That's cool.
And nobody picked up when I said that Glenn and Torgan were alone on the deck after Serene left.
Oh.
Missed opportunity. Yeah, the captain was from what Torgan can ascertain from the scene, someone snuck up on the captain and killed him in his sleep.
I would like to scamper to the main deck and start climbing the nearest ladder to kind of get a view of where we are.
Don't you want to loot him?
There'll be time for that later.
Yeah.
I'm not. You're the one who checked on him. I wasn't in the room.
Oh, okay. I come out and tell you that he's dead.
All right, so Glenn is scurrying up the rigging to look around. Ocean as far as the eye can see.
Oh God.
In all directions.
Yes.
Are there any other signs of dead crewmates, or are they all off deck and away?
Is there a trail of dead bodies behind the boat?
Well, there's some very interested sharks that have been following you for the last several nautical miles. Let's see. I would say you do find other bodies. Not everyone is accounted for. But it looks like multiple people have been slain.
The whole night crew, at least. So, it's time to start door checking and knocking on every door on the ship to see if there's anybody else still around.
Is there like a main wheel that we're aware of that steers the boat?
You know what? You're fairly witty. You at least know you've been keeping an eye on how things have been going on. You've been on the boat for several days and have had not much to do, aside from like trying to keep yourself from getting poisoned. But
Doreen knows her way around a boat well enough.
Yeah.
She knows where the captain's wheel is.
yes, you
One
do
of
at
us-
least know the general concept of steering the boat.
One of us should be on this wheel. We shouldn't leave this unattended for any longer than it has
Yeah.
been already.
Don't want to hit any of these other boats out here.
Well, if we see land, we can start steering towards it. If something comes out of the fog, we can address it.
Suddenly we're playing Sea of Thieves.
I think that Day should be the one to drive the boat. She seems to have at least more knowledge than me of boats, and
Doreen grew up in a port town.
yes, sir.
It's the Elven city she grew up in is a port city. She spent time on much smaller than this boats fairly often in her youth. She's competent on a fishing boat. She knows she can hold her own as a deckhand. She knows how to steer and drive and navigate small boats in familiar areas. This is a new and interesting challenge, but she knows, in theory, what to do.
Oh, and speaking of, I need everyone to roll to endure stress upon this revelation. Let's see here. This is the... let's see, spirit or heart, whichever is higher. For Serene, you're going to get a 3. Glane, you're going to get a 1. Torgan, you're going to get a 3. Okay, weak hit. Weak hit means nothing happens. Nothing happens, and miss! Uh-oh, Glane.
Glane
Ooh.
feels like he's to blame for this.
On a miss, also suffer -1 momentum. Yeah, Glane does feel like he is to blame for this. Oh, if you are at 0 spirit, you must mark shaken or corrupted, if currently unmarked, or roll on the following table. Let's see here. You are overwhelmed, face desolation. You get into fear or compulsion, act against your better instincts. Ooh,
Or
what
seek
is...
your vow.
Definitely not. That's not going to be in his.
Not in
Let's
his
see here.
repertoire.
Yeah. So shaken is a condition, which is basically like a lasting penalty to your momentum reset and maximum, similar to how when Turtle is encumbered with his heavy armor. So that might be what we do. And what is this about corrupted? I don't think that's going to be what happens, but I at least want to make sure. Ooh, the threshold of losing yourself to darkness. No, I don't think that's going to happen.
If we hadn't cut him off from the shadow, it could have, but I think we inadvertently circumvented that.
Okay, I think you are shaken. You are not corrupted. Shaken is a temporary thing. Corrupted is apparently a much more permanent change to your character.
I'll take shaken, thank you.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, corrupted is you are at the threshold of losing yourself to darkness, and it's permanent. They forever impact your character through a momentum penalty, and more importantly, through the narrative impact of being maimed or corrupted. So you are shaken, which is the not as bad version of that. It is a debility. It lasts until you can successfully sojourn. If you are shaken, you cannot increase spirit. You can.
Oh.
Your spirit track is locked in right now.
Force.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
I mean, a ship of, what, probably 40 crew, and the captain was just murdered to protect his cat.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Glane, the combination of the encounter with the two members of the Brotherhood and the subsequent finding of the massacre of the Dominion's crew and captain has shaken Glane to his core. So your momentum is locked down at a penalty until you can successfully sojourn, and if you do manage to actually successfully sojourn, you don't get the same benefit because you got to use part of that to sort of remove the debility. So that's where you stand right now. Not only are you at
All right.
0, but you are also shaken. Well, that was a roll. Okay, now we also have this other thing to deal with, which is you are adrift at sea on a ship with no crew.
The rations should last pretty long, at least.
Yeah, now that doesn't have to go around as far. That should help.
When the food runs out, we can eat them. So,
Wow. Wow.
I'd rather fish, thanks.
Talk about shaking.
we should start searching the quarters for anything that we can use to get ourselves out of this situation, whether it's navigation stuff or maybe if someone's somehow still alive. I mean, they had to kill like 40 people. Like, someone might have made it.
Morgan, go look for survivors. Glane, go search the captain's quarters. I need his spyglass and his sextant. It's a little doodad that helps you look at the stars and figure out where you are. You'll know it when you see it.
Yes, Captain.
On it, I run off to go to the quarters.
Serene goes to the captain's wheel and stands there looking at it. There's been a stake kind of driven in it to make it just go straight indefinitely. So we're going forward, whatever forward may mean in this case. So she's going to go ahead and remove that stake. Kind of unwedge the wheel. She's under the impression that they probably had us pointed in a not useful direction.
Okay.
And also realizes that they must have been pretty low-level minions because this had to have been a suicide mission for them. That slowly dawns on her if they were, casting us out to sea. So she knows generally what direction the shroud was from where we left.
Right.
The sun rises in the east. It's still just past dawn, though she knows which direction east is. So she's... The shroud was southeast of their point of origin. So she's going...
Northeast. East by northeast.
East by northeast? Okay.
So the important thing is that you have been paying attention to the general direction the ship has been heading these past few days.
Her job to be observant. She's the bard.
Exactly. As far as you can determine, this direction the ship is been sort of locked in at is still on a heading directly towards the shroud.
Maybe she unwedges it from what they had done and checks and makes sure everything is in place and that they didn't damage anything. Everything still looks like how it's supposed to. There's a locking mechanism that they obviously didn't know how to use that locks the wheel in position normally. She engages that. And sets about making sure they didn't try to sabotage the rigging in any way.
Right.
This boat has a lot more than she's used to. Typically, she's used to sailboats, but she still basically knows how sails work. It's the same principle, just bigger, right?
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Torgan, you do find the navigational equipment that Serene asked you to locate.
With Wayne.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, that was Glenn. Glenn, you do find those.
All right.
Wait, what was Torgan looking for?
He was looking for people who are alive or anything.
I'm looking for
quarters.
survivors.
Yeah, Torgan does a check around the ship. Torgan, you do find one thing of note, that one of the lifeboats is missing.
Good.
Not much of a lifeboat, very small rowboat, but not around.
Good or bad?
Depends.
I do find the stuff that Serene sent me to find, but on the way back, I dip into the captain's quarters because it was very advertised that it takes some level of skill or experience to get to the shroud, and just being on a boat heading that way, like maybe the captain has something unique on his person that allows him to have that insight. So I'm gonna give his body just a once over in his pockets and his jewelry and anything else that he might have that might line up with something else that we have to make this click in.
Okay. Let's see if...
Are you looking for Jack Sparrow's broken compass?
I'm looking for anything. Anything that looks like it might be some kind of fancy North Star to get us there.
Yeah, let's see if the captain has anything on hand. Let's see. The only thing of note that you do find is the captain did have an old locket around his neck.
I remove the locket and open the locket to see what there's a picture of inside.
You pry it open and find that it's empty.
There's no engravings or
Nothing.
anything. Is it just like a metal locket, or does it have any kind of jewel in it?
No, just some sort of, it's just made of polished silver.
Alright, since it's the only thing he's got, I'll take it in case it means anything, and I'm going to take the rest of the stuff to Serene.
Alright.
Blaine wouldn't be able to tell if it had magic on it. Serene
no.
or Torgan might be able to.
Possibly.
I hand her the thing she asked for and let her know that I also found this on the captain, if it helps at all, and hand over the locket.
He investigates it thoroughly.
Yeah. Though not particularly experienced with sort of detecting the magical auras of objects, it does appear to be mundane.
She doesn't feel anything off of it.
Right.
Okay.
And about this time, Torgan arrives back as well, presenting his news that no one else is on board.
The lifeboat is missing.
Yes, it is just you three.
Who ends up with the locket,
Very
Serene or me?
Serene gives it back to Blaine.
I pocket it on the off chance that we run into someone who knows the captain, because he's been here before, if we get to the shroud.
Serene kind of fills them in on, as best I can tell, we're going the right way. The wind seems to be in our favor. The sails are mostly drawn right now which means we're not kicking up wind to help us. Half sails on the forward mast would help us move faster. I don't know if we want that. But
Bit of a mystery.
That would move us faster.
Yeah.
I say as long as we have the horizon in front of us, faster is good. As long as the weather's fine.
Yes.
There's nothing.
As long as nothing goes bad with the weather.
I'm sure it's fine.
Well, I guess at this point the goal is basically just move the ship along, keep it afloat, and hope for the best.
Okay. So she gives a quick, brief summary to Glane and Torgan of what to do to pull the sails to half mast, to draw the sails to half on the forward mast. Basically, tells them climb up this particular set of rope and pull that rope right there until that is about halfway down, and make sure it matches on both sides. Otherwise, we spin. Go.
And to think, in the beginning, this was going to be a pleasure cruise. Now I've got to work.
3-hour tour.
3-hour tour.
Don't jinx it. I don't want to be stranded here forever. Coincidentally, though, she's thinking of maps she's seen and wondering where the closest port to the Shroud's going to be, and she's pretty sure it's an elven one.
Fingers crossed.
I think we're going to be closer to her homeland at the end of this than we are to the port of origin for this trip, which could be very curious indeed.
Hey, look, the captain's alive.
You can't
Yay!
do that.
She considers whether she should bring up explaining what a burial at sea looks like, but decides to hold off on that conversation, considering how green Torgan looked when he realized there was nobody else left alive on the ship.
Yes.
My seasickness is coming back.
Quite green indeed. Alright, so through a little bit of rough starts, Serene is able to walk Glane and Torgan through as much of the process for manning the ship as she can remember from what she does know. Although she's been on many ships and been around many, the details of actually what is doing what is a little shaky. She knows what the crew members are usually doing on the ship, but the specific processes and reasons for each are hit or miss. Still,
she can
however,
work a sailboat,
yeah,
but she can't work a what is this, a galleon?
something like that. The ship is at least moving in the right direction at speed. And it is not too much longer through the day that you begin to notice the fog setting in.
Good.
Yeah, super good.
She's going to point out to them that they should roll up the masts and we should go slowly, because we don't know exactly where we're going or where the bays are, or we don't want to wreck the boat, guys. We don't want to wreck the boat.
Right. Ooh, odd time to ask. We've got an outstanding vow for reclaiming the treasure of Captain Barnes, which could still be valid, but Captain Barnes himself, for whom you were reclaiming the treasure, is dead.
That is now an optional treasure hunt if we have the time.
Well, as an Ironsworn, This is you made a solemn vow upon your own blood.
Yeah, but his blood is now all over his bed.
Exactly. I think that means that this is a forsake your vow move for that.
We don't have to. We can still go try and find it.
That's
but
true.
I don't
but
think
just
it's
keep
our
that
highest
in mind.
priority.
Yeah,
Can you tell
just
us
keep,
what it is? Like what we're looking for?
he gave you very rough details. That there were
so
items
know it if
of.
we saw it.
Perhaps there were items of sentimental value taken from him on his
Junk.
last trip to the Shroud.
Well, if things go really well, we can gather that stuff and take him back home and bury him if we're still off the boat.
There you go. But keep in mind that forsaking your vow does result in enduring more stress. And you don't want to do that. So just keep that in mind. I mean, definitely Glane doesn't want to do that.
I mean, I don't think we have to bury him back at home. I think we could bury him on the Shroud as long as we find his things.
Yeah. So right now you are still driven by this sort of need to see this vow fulfilled for the late Captain Barnes. And
among
that
the
if
6
you,
other things we have to do on the Shroud.
yeah. But
Yeah.
if you decide that that quest is not going to happen while you're at the Shroud, then that's going to be abandoning the quest, and you'll feel the mental anguish associated with that.
Maybe I'll be less shaken by then.
Hopefully, because if not, then you become corrupted,
Oh,
and that's a permanent debility. That's your character forever has that. So let's hope that doesn't happen. So how about that fog? Hello, Tony. A very thick fog begins to envelop the ship. Thick enough to the point that you lose a lot of visibility. The ocean itself appears to just be a thick mist.
I yell through the fog. Doesn't this mean we're close?
Yes. Close the sails, pull them all the way up, and lay the anchor. I think we want to stay on the outer edge of this until nightfall, because I'm going to need to be able to use the star reading doodad in order to figure out which approach to the islands we're coming from.
Try to listen for any sounds of waves crashing or birds or anything that sounds like we're next to land.
All right. Yeah.
She explains to
a good
Torgan how to drop the anchor.
Glane will keep an ear out for the sounds of any land approaching. I'm gonna try something stupid, even though it might robot my voice for you guys. I'm sure that won't happen. We'll be wrapping up soon anyway. Let's see. B2 is B2 goes to Surge Discord. All right, that probably made me sound like a robot for you guys.
Only a little.
Okay, I'll accept that.
We'll be wrapping up soon. This boat's going down in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so, the thing, I guess it's only when I have music going that you guys can't hear a thing of what I'm saying. Gentle sound effects are fine. All right, so sails are put in position to slow the ship down as much as possible, to allow it to sort of just coast along with the gentle ocean breeze. Serene stays at the helm, kind of very, very cautiously watching, but quickly realizes that she cannot see where the ship is heading at all. The only way you can even tell that it is getting late is that the thick fog surrounding you changes from a sort of light blue haze to an orange haze at some point. But even the position of the sun is obscured by this dense cloud all around. The tricky part now becomes how to navigate how to navigate with the stars from the heart of this thick fog. So,
in kind of a desperate guess, I fumble the locket out and just kind of open it and kind of move it around to see if anything happens.
Hoping for the best, but it does seem to be as mundane as it always has been. What is Torgan doing in all of this?
I have no idea what's going on. I have never been around ships. I am very nauseous. I just kind of keep doing what Serene says to do. I am quite confused.
Yeah. There's a sort of general unease among the three of you, the new crew of the Dominion now, as you're trying to figure out, is there land somewhere there in the fog, and if so,
I heard a bird.
How close is it?
I heard a bird too. Was it a breakfast bird?
I hope so.
The sounds of birds somewhere out in the dusk clouds signal land somewhere nearby, but exactly how close or far is uncertain. You only hope that whenever you find the land, you at least have some time to react to it. Any preparations?
Serene kind of calls the boys to her and says, "We can either drop anchor here, where we know we're not going to run headfirst into an island, and attempt scouting missions with one of the remaining rowboats, or we can try letting the ship coast a little further, since we don't have any kind of clear vision on where we're going, and I'm not picking up any vibes of anything. Like we're not within the magic field yet, so I can't even guess with that.
I'm comfortable going a little further to see if the birds get louder or quieter, and then maybe stopping again.
Well, you can't really stop a boat, Clayne. We don't have brakes. It's not like a horse cart.
Okay.
You just it's just momentum.
Yeah.
Classic momentum. So Serene is calling for drop anchor, take the rowboat down, see what we can find.
It's a dominant. It might be the safest suggestion at this point, but it's. She wants input. She's not confident.
Maybe this would call for, like, a roll of whether or not we are able to save our ship for the way back, or if we are going to have to find another way home.
No, it's at your decision.
Like, we got this far on the back of the crew, and if we happen to crash onto even if we can somehow park this thing, I don't know if the three of us are up to the task of bringing this entire boat back under our own power. The three of us.
Well, you see, I might have the solution to that problem. I think we're very close here to one of the trade routes that goes to my home port. So, if we were to find the northeast corner island in this archipelago, there is a trade route that briefly stops at that island, kind of. It's more of really just a rock with a spring on it that is like a water refill station. Even like the ports I know, like people don't explore here, but like there's a freshwater spring on a rock that sometimes people stop at if they run short of supplies. If we can get to there, we have a chance of maybe being able to either get picked up or towed or something to a port I at least might know. But I don't know how they would feel about humans. And also, if there are humans operating in this area, that might have changed since I was last in my... That situation may have changed since I was last in my hometown. Do any of you know... Glane, I guess, do you know how long this organization has been operating in the vicinity of the Shroud?
That's not something I would know. This organization doesn't even stay in the same, like they're somewhere until they have business, and then when it concludes, they might find a new board of operations to stay secret. But they're here now.
She kind of rubs her temples and squints her eyes at the deck for a minute.
I think that the three of us showing up in a rowboat would be a lot less intimidating than rolling up in a giant galleon full of dead people.
Yeah. It might be best to drop anchor here. I hadn't wanted to mention it yet, but, having dead bodies on board will cause other problems on the ship if we don't address that situation. She just kind of scratches her nose and kind of looks at the floor as she says that, kind of like, I didn't want to bring this up, but...
Go on.
Well, you see dead bodies do this thing where they rot, and it smells real bad, and in the closed confines of the underdeck, it'll cause what rations we do have to spoil really fast. It'll taint the whole ship, and the smell will never come out of the wood. Burial at sea is a thing that, typically, if you have a death on the ship, you would do. Usually it's when somebody has too much grog and falls out of the rigging and cracks their skull. It's not something that you would expect to have to do en masse. But, if we plan on ever coming back to this ship, that's something we might need to take care of.
I say we just get everybody overboard at sea, except for the captain. We can take him upon land and bury him on the beach.
I mean, we can find some land.
Yeah. I mean, if we don't find land, we have different problems.
Fair.
All right, that's the plan. So, Serene, Torgan, and Glane, lowering the remaining lifeboat, a fairly small and cramped ride, row out into the thick fog, following the sounds of the birds they can hear from within the mists. They lose sight of the ship as they continue making their way forward. Minutes drag on to what may be hours until the relieving sound of waves crashing against the shore can be heard through the mists. A small gravelly beach at the base of High Cliff is a welcome sight. And the remaining survivors of the SS Dominion step forward onto dry land for the first time in too long. Now, what awaits them on this land, we will find out next time.
Dun dun dun.
On DobbsQuest. The end.
A party of 35 to 3.
De-escalated quickly.
That's if it's a galleon-sized ship, that'd actually be a lot larger crew than 40 people.
Does Big Funny Burger not know there's been 19 of these?
No, he just didn't realize that it's already that late.
Oh, okay. Like, next time, you guys are going to do this again? Oh, there's more.
Oh, it keeps happening.
There's lots more.
It means he was very sucked into the story and didn't realize it's 3 a.m. Britain time.
He's in a pixel go-to-bed situation.
Even Pixel's in bed.
Oh, there you go. Well, all right. Well, that's it for DobbsQuest tonight. Hope everyone enjoyed. Finally, some things happened. If you can believe it.
Dobbs murdered a whole ship full of NPCs.
The dice did that. Thank you very much.
Oh, did the dice do that?
Yes.
Did they?
Yes.
Dobbs asked, "Hey, Dice, should everyone die?" They were like, "Sure, why not?"
I'd say in reality, that's not even true. That is a lie. Dobbs killed 40 of them. The dice killed one person, the captain. That's it.
No, I told you that it was for the captain.
Because fate was linked with everybody else's.
It was basically what happened to everyone. Was it thing A or thing B where they're all dead? All right, that's the end. Everybody go home. Mario Maker Wednesday. Game's done badly. October 9th and 10th.
It's in the ticker.
Yeah, it's been ticking by. Anybody else have any announcements to bring up?
Not really.
That's it. Nothing
I'm
else
coming,
is
Gary.
happening.
Oh, I'll be on vacation October 4th.
Okay. So no DobbsQuest then, but that's a ways out at least.
Yeah, that's the week before GDB. I will be at the beach that entire week, and it's going to be glorious.
Well, we've got 5 more weeks of DobbsQuest until then. So look forward to episodes 20 through 24.
There should be a DobbsQuest during GDB, like a special super episode.
A special somehow everything gets wrapped up perfectly.
No, I don't want to wrap it up.
I can run a one-shot for GDB if you want.
There you go.
That'd
This
be
is
fun.
going on as long as everyone is willing.
Willing and able. All right. That's it. That's the end. Everyone go to bed, and we'll see you next time. Say goodnight, everybody.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.